Okay, you guys, today we're going to use a little line quality to make some fun, spooky cats, or they could be friendly cats. They're definitely going to be fuzzy cats, okay? Line quality just refers to how your line looks. So we're going to use, you could have like thick lines, thin lines, short lines, long lines, all kinds of different lines, okay? So that's the quality of the line, what it looks like, okay? So first we're going to sketch our cat out. So here's one where I kind of have it sketched out. We're going to draw the eyes and the nose. We're going to give it a couple ears, and we're going to give it a tail. Your tail doesn't have to look like this one. And then we're going to come back with Sharpie, and we're going to make it look big and fluffy. We're doing big, round, fluffy cat. So first, let's start with some ears. I'm going to put a couple of triangle ears up here on top of my circle. You already have your circle. Okay. So draw some ears. They don't have to look like my ears. Okay, now we're going to draw a face. So on this one, I started the eyes like this. I wasn't quite done. I was going to add the little insides of the eyes like that, okay? But you don't have to do it that way. You could have a friendly cat. You could have a cute cat. You can't do just a line for the eyes. So sometimes I say, oh, you can make the eyes closed or whatever, but that's not really going to work on this one, okay? So I'm giving this one these eyes, and then you're going to give it just a little nose right there. Okay, so I have one that looks kind of mean and one that looks kind of bewildered, honestly. We're not going to add a mouth. We're just going to leave the mouth off, okay? And then you can do a tail. On this one, I drew my tail kind of out like this. And then I drew this around and this back up to it. On this one, I'm going to give it a tail kind of up like this. We're not going to give it feet, okay? Now, I'm going to use my regular Sharpie, and I'm going to do the faces in regular Sharpie on both of these so that they really stand out. Because we're going to switch to skinny Sharpie for all of our little texture lines. So this regular Sharpie will really stand out from that, okay? So use your regular Sharpie and do your face. This one kind of looks like an owl. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let's start with something easy. Let's start with the ears, okay? So I'm going to take my skinny Sharpie, or a skinny Sharpie, and I'm not going to outline my ears. You could if you wanted to. But I am going to fill them in with short little lines like this. Like my ears have the texture of hair. See that? Okay, so do your ears. Okay, so now we're going to do the tail. I'm going to do the tail the same way that I did these ears. I'm just kind of sketchy outlining it. You see how it's not like a solid line? And then I'm going to do these rows of short lines. You see how they're all going back towards the same area? Okay, I'm not drawing some this way and then some this way and then some this way, right? That doesn't look as good. We're lining them all up in the same direction. Just short little lines like this. If you want it to be darker, right, then you can overlap and do more lines. You see how if I do more lines, this section is going to be darker. If you want it to be lighter, like a lighter value, you can do less lines. Of course, now I did it darker, so I have to go back and do more. All right, so do your tail. Your tail is going to come all the way down and kind of into this area. I'm just drawing some directional lines, okay? Do your tail and then come back and we'll talk about the cat. Okay, so mine is done so far, and then we're gonna do our cat. Now, if you wanted your cat to be a little scruffier looking, you could come and you could do some at different angles. And you see how that's gonna make your cat look like it's kind of scruffy? Okay, so even though I said to line them all up, if you want your cat to look kind of scruffy, you could do some of that, okay? Now, I'm gonna do this little face part of my cat first. So with the cat, we're gonna start the body of it. We're gonna start in the middle and work our way out. And then once you hit the edges at the top, you just kind of do the bottom area here, okay? So you start in the middle here, and it's kind of like a sun, right? When you draw a sun, the lines come out from the center of the sun, kind of like this. So let's do that. Let's draw some directional lines around our cat's face like this, okay? Just to remind you. So that way, if I'm over here, I'm not drawing lines that are going straight up and down like this. I'm drawing lines that are going out like this, right? Or if I'm here, I'm not drawing lines that are going straight sideways like this. I'm drawing lines that are going out like this. So we're going to start with that and draw this little section of the face first. You can kind of figure out what works for you. This is going to be a little experimentation. Okay, you can also see how I'm kind of doing a little scribbling where I'm not drawing line, line, line. I'm kind of going back and forth like a scribble that is controlled. You can turn your paper as needed. So I'm liking that little scribble. Okay, so once you're done with one layer, then you'll go out and you'll do another layer. Whatever's working for you, that's what you're gonna do. Okay, and then once you're done with that layer, you go out and do another layer. When you get up here and you're overlapping your ears, then you just overlap the ears, okay? When you get out here and you're overlapping the tail, then you're just gonna overlap the tail. And when you get to the edge, you're just gonna kind of overlap it. We're not tracing the circle. It's gonna make it seem fluffier if we just go all the way to the edge, okay? So you guys work on your cat some more, doing one layer at a time. Just do a section at a time and build outwards from there. Okay, so when you do down here, let me just show you. So I've already kind of hit this spot right here. So now I'm gonna come down and around like this. See how that works? See how it's gonna come all the way down and around? Okay, and then when you do your next one, you start it here or wherever, and it's gonna go all the way down and around. So you just keep doing layer, 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 okay? So you guys work on those. I have extras if you need them, and then we'll come back and see what they look like when you're done.